How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
It's been 2 weeks since we did this.
I know.
I was out last week. I was out of the country.
I know. You went to London, right?
I did. It was
I'm
wonderful.
actually not even clear exactly what you were doing there. So, what were you doing there?
I was at a conference called AI Engineer Europe.
Okay.
This is the third AI Engineer conference that the wonderful Swix has put on that I've gone to. I went to the San Francisco one last year, the New York one last year, and now this one. And at it, I did a workshop on, it was called Skills at Scale.
Oh, okay.
But it was talking kind of about advanced techniques for building skills,
Yep.
and expanding them outside of just here's how to use them in Claude, but like here's a whole like thing built on the Claude Agent SDK that uses it, and oh, guess what? They work in Codex now, and like all of that, and the desktop, like non-technical people in
Yep.
Claude Cowork, skills are huge and they're
Oh,
great.
yeah. Yep.
Did that, and then I gave also a 20-minute talk on building AI systems that ship, and just
Cool.
kind of talked about two projects that I did recently that have actually shipped, and the things I learned from them and the
So, what's the
pitfalls.
target? I guess what's the target audience for these conferences? Is it people actively using AI, or is it trying to get more people to come and use AI? Or
No, it's definitely AI engineers.
okay.
I'd say learning a lot about that. It was a really cool conference because it was across the street from Westminster in a building called the Queen Elizabeth II Center.
Okay.
And so I have an awesome picture of me with a giant inflatable lobster behind me for OpenClaw. And
Yeah.
then behind that is Westminster. And I just think
Oh,
that's
nice.
such a cool picture.
Yeah. I'm sure they were
Um,
thrilled.
yeah. But like, I think Mario from Pi was there. Peter Steinberger from OpenClaw was there. A whole bunch of people from OpenAI. And I don't know of anyone, but I assume people from Anthropic were there.
That's cool.
Um, and yeah, it was a great conference. Met a bunch of awesome people. Got interviewed on the Scaling Dev Tools podcast,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, and then I built in an extra day for me to just hang around London, which was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
I just walked around a bit.
Yep.
Uh, like that's pretty much all I did. I walked like 40 miles while I was there, which was fantastic.
Yeah, no,
But
that's good. I
yeah,
I I I would always I didn't do as much as trying to put in personal time whenever I was doing work trips before. So that's
yeah,
good that you did that.
yeah, it was fun. Honestly, it was really eye opening because a couple weeks ago, a friend and coworker recommended to me that I read a book called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin.
Mhm.
Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Okay. So I bought the book on my Kindle, but then I was like, oh, I should actually read this. So I bought the audiobook so I could actually get through it. And it's narrated by Rick Rubin, which is pretty cool.
It's like a bunch of essays, right? Is that
Kind
the
of, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bunch of like, yeah, like preserving the art of being creative and
Yeah.
expressing yourself in different scenarios.
Yeah.
And like, so I listened to the book start to finish while walking around London, which I think is an awesome story and
Oh, yeah,
just
that's cool.
so fun. But like, I'm going to tell you, that book is so good if you think about it in terms of vibe coding.
Oh,
Like,
really?
oh
I'll
yeah,
have to So I have it and I briefly started it, but so I'll read it with that context in
you
mind.
should. Yeah, there's a lot of really good nuggets in there. And there's actually, I think, a website that he put together with Anthropic, maybe. Um, at least that's what I heard, but I don't actually know where it came from. But I think I'll put a link to it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I can't find it off the top of my head. But it's all about like taking his passages or taking some passages and thewayofcode.com. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The timeless art of vibe coding based on Lao Tzu, adapted by Rick Rubin.
All right. Well, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly just kind of want to like take nuggets of the book or like the entire book if I could and like feed it to Claude and be like, let's make skills based on this. Like, I wonder what it would do. But yeah, that was great. It was a lot of fun. I did nothing. I talked to no one for like 2 straight days because I was uh, just walking around by myself.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I talked to like a waiter at a restaurant, things like that, and talked to my kids on the phone and stuff, but uh, not talking to anyone. And then I flew home the next day and definitely
Yep.
didn't talk to anyone.
Actually, I take it back. There was one trip where I was in Germany, and I ended up staying 2 days longer than what the work part of it was. But it was in the winter, and it was
Mm.
snowing and cold, so I spent most of the time in the hotel room. But yeah, no, because I was thinking about when was the time when I didn't do that, and I was thinking about that trip where I just spoke to no one
Yeah,
except you call your family, and that's about it.
yeah, it was really fun. I also definitely I was excited to play around with remote control, like Claude remote control.
Yep.
So I set that up and I was like drafting a blog post from Buckingham Palace on my phone. That was pretty
Cool.
cool.
So, there wasn't a lot of news while you were gone, was there, Nick?
While I was gone, no, not really. But this week, I think there's
I think
been.
there was I think I was joking. I think there was actually quite a bit of news,
Oh,
but,
really? What did I miss?
well, I mean, no, I think it was all wrapped up. Well, didn't Mythos and all that come out while you were gone, or were you already back?
That is true. Mythos did come out. Sort of. It's not
Yeah.
out, of course,
Well,
unless you're
sorry.
very, very
We
special.
don't want the world to end.
Yeah. Oh,
I the I don't know why this meme pops in my head every time I think about all of the Mythos discussion. But have you ever seen? And this meme is it's not it's a pattern of a meme, I guess I should say. But you'll see somebody doing something ridiculous, and by ridiculous I mean like it'd be like a video of me doing parkour, right? Something where it's like, okay, that guy doesn't look like he should probably be doing parkour. And whatever then the parkour I would be doing would be, like I'm hopping off of a little tiny ledge or something dumb, right?
yeah.
And then it bleeps to the and then it like switches to the guy from the Jason Bourne movie, where it's like, oh my god, that's Jason Bourne. Have you seen
Yes,
this?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I feel like that's how like the level of all the things of people discussing how horrific Mythos is going to be. I don't know why that pops in my head because I think it's all a bunch of hot air and nonsense.
I do. Yeah, I do too. I think it's probably better than 4.7, which we'll talk about, but
Yeah,
is it better?
I think
Is it, am I going to have a job? So right now, I think yes.
yes, I think the step function between if you look at the gap between all of the release models, it does just as much better as it did the previous ones.
Yes.
Like it's not, and yeah, and why they chose to. I mean, I assume it's a marketing and there's a Cal Newport video about this that's extremely good that people should go watch.
Hmm.
I like, is this just what they decided to market this model on? Like, oh,
Yeah.
security. That it's gonna it we this is what we're gonna focus on, which makes zero sense, but whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Oh, look at this amazing thing we did. This is a deity level
Yeah,
model. Oh, but you can't see it. It's like
right.
is I'm gonna get us canceled. But is this like the I saw the Book of Mormon in New York recently. Is this like the golden things that he
Oh
buried?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Only I can see it, and I have to look in this hat to see it.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe, but I'm sure there's. I, I have to assume that most of it's at this point is marketing until it gets released and more people look at it. That it's just the same, a hype train of making a big deal out of something.
Yeah.
So it did I assume it did what they expected it to do, which was it made the stock market go down so people could buy, and then people will realize that it's not actually that, and the stock market will go back up and people make money. So
You know, there is no regulation around any of that.
yeah, we have literal like ridiculous betting markets now that are insane.
Should I
But
be doing this, John? Should I be
no,
trying to play these things?
I wouldn't, but I'm not your financial advisor.
Can you be?
Probably you do not want me to be your financial advisor.
I've been talking to a friend who has been doing the, I don't know, through like Charles Schwab or whatever, you can create like a paper money account.
Yeah,
And he's been playing that like seriously every day. Just
yeah,
like his goal is to make like 50,000 and then he'll feel more comfortable, kind of diving in for real.
yeah,
And that sounds like fun, like a very low risk fun that I could
yeah.
play.
I mean, there's a lot of uh, trading companies and websites that you can use that'll allow you to essentially use a paper account
Hmm.
and pretend like you're doing things.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to go figure out how to learn how to do, if you're going to do more advanced options trading or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
Wow, I
yeah,
am an idiot. That's just what I'll learn.
but
Somehow
yeah,
I'll short a paper account and it'll transfer over to real life.
yeah. So, but what else? I guess what else happened? You got a couple of things up there. I
Yeah.
had the funny thing is I barely used Opus 4.7.
Okay. Well, let's start there because that is a real tangible thing.
Yep,
And a couple of things. First off, I think it's crazy that 4.6 has only been out for 2 months. It feels like a freaking
two
eternity.
months.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true because 4.45 was the one that kind of really changed things back in November, right? So then 4.6 only
Yeah, that
came.
was out in like November, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then 4.6 only came out in
February.
January, February. Okay.
I was
Wow.
in New York and when it came out, so I know it, I know the dates. And it was
Interesting.
February, early February, first week of February. Um, and yeah, it's only been out for 2 months. Now 4.7 is out, so it seems like they've got it down to 2 to 3 month cadence between these, and potentially it's shrinking even further,
Okay.
which is really cool. I want to ask you a question though. Do you
Yep.
believe the stories that? So the big rumor is that they've been nerfing 4.6 to because they can't, like, they're so constrained on GPUs and
Hmm.
compute and all of that that they have been intentionally like lobotomizing it to scale to the demand, but also people will feel hyped when 4.7 comes out because it won't be as nerfed in the
Um,
beginning, and then they'll slowly degrade it over time until 4.8 or 5 comes out, whatever.
I you know I have no clue. If it seems like a smart play, honestly, right? And
Yeah.
so it's like a content creator who's already got a ton of content lined up,
Yeah.
right? So that way, I it wouldn't surprise me, if they are limiting or controlling what gets put out and how fast it gets put out, because then you have control of the narrative, and you can think about more of how you want to market it, and etc., rather than just the best thing and you just throw it out there, over and over. But
Hmm.
so it would make sense from a business standpoint, yeah.
Yeah.
But I I have heard, again, and what 4.7 has been out how long?
Like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the only feedback I've heard so far about 4.7 is that it's not as good as 4.6.
I have heard that feedback. Okay, I have some stories, but I've overall enjoyed it right now. And Kevin said, already feels like it should be 2027. I've already forgotten what would be in reference to. Uh, Mythos, maybe.
Yeah, I'm so out of it, I don't even have a clue.
Yeah, so I have been using Opus 4.7 since it came out. I was like, yes, I think it was yesterday actually that it came out. Yeah. Um, and I was at a coffee shop and it was not updating. I spent like an hour, Claude update, Claude update, Claude update. Kill this session and see if it'll come up and give me that as an option. Would not happen. It finally came to the desktop, Claude
Yep.
desktop app, and I started using code in there, which I also want to talk about. But then it finally came, and I got it, and I have been using it. I think it's been great. One thing that I like, one piece of my workflow that I've been doing quite a bit is like, I have Claude do the work, and then I want Codex to review it
Okay.
and give its input. Or like, I'll do like a planning session, and I'll get it to a point where me and Claude think that this is ready to go implement,
Yep.
and then I want Codex to come in and tell me what we're missing, and it
Right.
does a real good job of that. Like, I'm very impressed.
Okay.
Before, what I do is I would just have pi in a tmux split next to it, and I'd be like, you review this. Here's the artifact we created, the markdown file or whatever. Go review it, and then I would take that back to Claude and be like, Codex said this, and then I would literally be the middleman, just like, oh, Claude said this, Codex said that, and like get them to a consensus on things and fix things. Codex released a bunch of skills for Claude where you can just ask it to do reviews right inside of Claude, and it does. And
Oh,
that's been
cool.
great. You know what's happened though? I've also this week started, instead of using the dangerously skip permissions flag, I have been using their auto mode, which like uses a separate model to, or a separate, I don't know. It does checks on like what tasks it's trying to run and then
Yeah.
allows it or disallows it. Sounds great, like on paper, right? This
Yeah.
will lead to fewer permissions asks and also
Mm-mm.
not be totally unsafe.
Now you have two things asking you for permissions.
It doesn't, I haven't seen it ask for permissions. And that's
Okay.
the problem, because today I have been working on this like incident level thing. Like I want to get this fix out pretty quick. Right. And I did what I normally do. I got it working. I manually tested it. I have reviewed the code. I think it looks good. I think that it's ship ready, but I want Codex to do a quick review and just like get that consensus. And this is before I send it off. Right now we have Greptile and CodeRabbit, and you can add Cursor to GitHub PRs, and they'll all just like start chiming in.
Yeah.
I want to get to a good place before I let them go ham on it.
Right.
It's not a lot of code. It's like maybe 100 lines. So it's not like a massive, massive thing. And so I just ask it. I say, in Claude with Opus 4.7, I say, go review this, have Codex review this code.
Okay.
And it says, okay. And it has I'm initiating a tool. I'm also using their new scroller. I don't know if that's the default in Coda in 4.7 or not, but they like rewrote this scroller for how the TUI works in Claude
Yeah.
Code, and it's better, but maybe it doesn't show as much information all the time. And you can like click on things and it'll expand and
I wonder
yeah.
if this is what was half of my problems today, because
Maybe.
it wasn't showing me anything. It
Okay.
would just sit there, and I'm like, "Are you doing something?"
Yes.
And then it'd go, "Well, I asked you." I'm like, "No, you didn't ask me anything." So
Yeah. So I asked it to do that, right? And I am thinking like, oh, it's doing stuff. And it's like I'm looking at the timer because it shows like the timer,
Yes.
and it's at
Yeah.
like 48 minutes.
Yeah, no,
And I'm
I did not wait that long. I was like, 5 minutes. What are you doing?
Well, I jumped into other things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah, I
I'm
get
like,
it.
I'm not just sitting there twiddling my thumbs, but I come back to it and it's at 48 minutes. And I was like thinking back to the tweets I saw about Opus, and I'm like, oh, it can run longer without asking for permission. So here I am thinking, hey, it's just working.
It's
And then
probably done nothing.
I killed it. Like I hit escape, and then I typed, "Hey, I've been waiting a while. Are you like, were you doing things, or like what was happening?" And it was like, "Oh no, you told me that you wanted to use the codex skill, so I asked you if I could use the codex skill, and you said no. It did not ask me anything. So that auto mode must have told it no for some god awful reason." And then it just sat there assuming that I said no, and it was waiting for some input from me about where to go, but it wasn't. It was actually waiting for the
If
auto
I said
mode.
no, tell me, no, you're gonna tell me more, or one of
Yes.
those where it's just sitting there waiting.
So I explicitly
that's what
said,
happens
go
with
ahead
me.
and do it. And it
Yeah.
said, okay. And I was like, explicitly allow Codex rescue or Codex review when I ask you. It said, okay, we'll do. So then I told it to do a review again. And 5 minutes goes by and I killed it. And I'm like, you got stuck again, didn't you? It's like, yeah, you didn't approve it. And I'm like, you didn't show me anything.
Oh my God. Is this configuration on by default?
The auto mode? No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have to I I feel dumb because I was struggling with just a much simpler problem. My problem is I had like, I didn't have this many, but a little slightly hyperbolic, but I had like 3 Claude codes installed.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I use ASDF for my node,
I'm so
and I
sorry.
won't pay attention, and it'll be like, "Oh, it can't," and plus I use Tidewave, and it'll be like, "I can't find Claude," and they'll just install it all over the place, and then half the time, I'd go into Claude and it'd be like, "Your Claude's not updated," and I'm like, "I go run." It'd be like, "Go run brew Claude update." Like, I've run brew Claude update 50 times, and I can tell you that there's nothing there. But
You
yeah,
have it
no,
installed
I
you have
I
Claude
had it
installed from Brew?
I had it installed via npm. I had it installed via Homebrew, and then I finally went and installed it from their website with the curl command,
Yeah.
the native one, and I'm like, wiped out all the rest. I ran Brew Doctor. It found no more. I've looked at every machine that I work on now, and I've cleaned this mess up. But yeah, but it was after that because I finally got the latest version
Yeah.
that it was like, yeah, I'm not going to ask you. I'm like, are you hung? No, but you're. I gave you. I was waiting on input from you. Like I don't know what you're talking about. But move on. Anyways,
Well, have you heard of this tool, Mies?
no.
I have been using this more. I've also been using Veet Plus, which kind of also acts like this. Like it has a VP command and it will install things globally across all of your node versions. So you could install things like that.
Okay.
But it seems a little, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Veet Plus. Um, so I've also been playing around with Mies and kind of like it. It does a interesting job. I couldn't tell you. I've not used ASDF enough to tell you
Hold
why
on.
it's good or not.
This sounds familiar. Now that you're saying that, and of course my oh my god, stupid universal control. Sorry. It goes into a state where the machine that I want to do something on is literally like I don't have a mouse or a keyboard, which is
Classic.
weird. Mies versus ASDF. I thought there was something. I thought Mies was like the replacement for ASDF or something, but I'm not. It sounds like very similar tools. It's a polyglot tool. You can manage more things than just Node, right? I manage everything. I manage Elixir with it. I manage my Python versions. I
Hmm.
manage my PNPM versions. I manage my Node versions. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I like it. Why it sucks, and maybe Mies doesn't have the same problem. And it's not that it sucks. I generally don't have a global thing set up, right? So in that case, I don't have a global node set up.
Yeah.
You can with ASDF, and I've gone back since then and done that. ASDF dot set dash u, whatever. But so then Claude or Tidewave or all these tools would use it and be like, well, I don't have access to anything, right? Because it's not running in the same shell environment or the same shell session, et cetera, right? So you said you're using Mies. Does it solve this problem for you, or I assume does it when you install a version, you there's an easy way to set it as this is the global version?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel
That
like
is
this was
also something
easier
that,
in ASDF before they changed things, and I just it's something that it's a thing that I didn't pay attention to. They changed things, and I just haven't been using it correctly. But I'll check out Mies because if it solves the same tool and it has a better um, way of doing it, then I may move to that.
yeah. There is also this from the Void Zero folks.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing, honestly. But like, there's Veet, but then there's Veet Plus. Why am I not finding it? Oh, there. And it does, it gives you like this VB command, which is kind of cool because like you could like start using this and it doesn't matter if you have NPM or PNPM or Yarn or whatever installed. You say VP install and it will just figure out what your project is using and use it.
Okay.
But then you can do like VP install -G and install things globally. So you could have like global node like CLIs and stuff that you want installed, and they'll work across whatever version. And it can also manage the version of node that you're using and the version of PNPM or NPM or whatever.
But this is like a very node centric.
Yes, it's all very node
Yeah,
centric.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Okay.
And it does like it does some weird things with your path and changes things. And
Yeah.
it's not like you can just like use it in a project. Like you can use it in a project for sure, but I think you have to commit to it in that project because of the way like it'll do.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, it's like either everybody uses the same tool or everybody knows how to make the project work with the tool set they're using, right?
Right, right.
So then that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it has, is VP, ENV that you can change things with. But yeah, it's cool, and I want to keep it on my radar for sure. But right now, I think the only tool I have Pi installed through this.
Okay.
That's the only tool I have. But otherwise, like I kind of hate that for Pi. I hate it. I hate having Node things installed because I never know what node I have.
Right. Yeah. And that's where I was running in the trouble with the Claude code
Yeah,
because I wouldn't pay attention to which node I was. I'm not in a node project, but I wouldn't pay attention to which node
yeah,
project version was currently set as global or had access to. So,
yeah. So annoying.
and it didn't help that I also at some point did a brew install node probably to fix a problem immediately because like okay I don't want to hear about you not knowing where node is anymore. Leave me
Yeah.
alone. All right. So you talked about you mentioned Pi and you said there's Pi updates. So what's going on with Pi?
Yeah. Well, I don't. There are Pi updates. Pi actually got acquired. That's news.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did we? Okay. Yeah. Who did they get acquired by?
Some company named like Arandiel or something. That's from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. Oh, it
They
wasn't Allbirds. Allbirds didn't acquire them as their AI play.
no,
Oh, okay.
no. Well, I
Sorry.
want to talk about that too, but no. I just enjoyed in their like announcement. They're like, oh, we're Lord of the Rings based, but we're not evil
Yeah.
like other Lord of the Rings based companies, specifically Palantir.
Yeah. That's that's such a weird company. But anyways,
That's a creepy company for sure.
yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah,
you're still actively using Pi.
no, and
No,
that's
you're
the
not.
problem. I am
Did
like,
Claude? Did Anthropic kill it?
yeah. Now when you open Pi, I just saw this yesterday. I'm signed in with my Claude Teams plan, like
Yep.
my work Claude Teams plan, and that's like what Case is built on top of. So I want to be able to use it there, and I still can,
Yeah.
right? But if I'm using Claude models like Opus,
Yep.
it cannot. It will just bypass the plan that I'm on and go directly to token based billing or
Okay.
API based billing, whatever. You're paying for the tokens directly, which like my account, I have so much overage for that on my account. I don't know how it works exactly from like a
Right.
admin standpoint, but I know I have that. I'm pretty sure that like they wouldn't want everyone to just immediately be burning through API token or API
Right.
billing.
Yeah.
That so it just immediately became less useful, which kind of sucks. I'm mad
Yep.
at Anthropic for that. Um, yeah,
So I use Tidewave, but I only use Tidewave on personal stuff.
mhm.
So I've used it in the last few days and I haven't seen it complain about anything. So I'm wondering if tools like they're less concerned with. I don't know. I mean, because quite frankly, Tidewave is honestly doing something that Claude Code isn't doing,
Mhm.
right? Whereas I can see Pi being something that they're a more direct competitor. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll break Tidewave, and then I'll be really mad because
Yeah,
Tidewave's amazing when you're just doing front end web stuff. You
yeah,
know, so and honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure code. I need to use other tools. Like I need to go check out Codex. I have not used Codex, but I'm pretty sure Codex has some of the same things built into it, where you can point and click at things and say so it'll actually inspect the DOM and say I'm talking about this DOM element.
yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. I know that Codex has a new app out, or new to me at least, app out that is more like an Omni app. It's kind of
Okay.
like Claude in a lot of ways, where it does code, it does
Yep.
chat, it does whatever automations, and has plugins now, and that's pretty cool. I think. No, maybe it's more code focused than I'm thinking. But yeah, that's there. But also, yeah, I think you should check it out. Like even just having it review things. And
Yeah.
I took I forgot who posted it on Twitter, but I saw somebody post that they put in their claw.md, that like their global claw.md. Hey, like, I'm going to have Codex review every line of your code
Hmm.
when you're done. And it seems to be doing better with that, but also I am doing that and having it review,
Yeah.
and it's pretty good, honestly.
I'm sorry. So they put in their Claude MD to tell Claude that I'm going to have Codex review, and it does a better job just because it thinks Codex is going to review it.
Potentially.
That
I
makes
don't.
sense.
I couldn't quantify that, to be honest. But I mean, it would make sense, right? These things are based on us, and
Yeah,
if you felt the sense of competition, you might perform better,
maybe.
maybe, or you might curl up
I'm
into a
also
ball.
a flesh and blood breathing thing.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe.
you're an agent that I can make cry.
Yes, yes, you could, but that's interesting. I it would I wish there was more research on those types of things, right? But
Yeah, for sure.
I
Um,
because although like it feels like, and this is another thing that Cal Newport his videos do a good job of, where a lot of these, a lot of the hype they talk about, oh my god, it escaped its mythos, escaped its containment, right, and all this stuff,
yeah,
and it really he does such a good job of digging into the details of what the okay, what does it mean it escaped its containment, and it's literally like it put it in a box, and it's like, here's these tools, and by the way, here's the prompt that will help you get out of the box, and it's like, oh my god, you got out of the box, right? It's just like he's saying, like, a lot of these things, the researchers are so tied to the companies building the models that it's just like, yeah, you built the model with the context knowing that it had to like defeat this test, right? So of course it's going to defeat the test.
yeah. You know, there was one today that I saw. I think it might have been like a YouTube short or something, but they were talking about how they had like hundreds of pages of legalese, and then right in the middle of it somewhere they had like that they prefer like I don't know this specific type of sandwich
Yeah,
or
the green M&M thing from
yeah
contract, yeah,
yeah yeah,
band
yeah.
contracts, yeah.
And they asked Claude like, hey, what kind of sandwich do I have? And it was like, oh, you like cheese pizza or like it was something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then Claude was like, you like that, but also I noticed that was a single sentence about that in an otherwise like full legal document. Am I being tested? Is like what it said.
Right.
So then like the video was like, is Claude self aware?
It's like, oh my god. Like, no, it's just based on the fact
Yeah.
that we know when we're being tested.
Speaking of, kind of, I stopped sharing my screen. Was I getting choppy there for a second?
You are.
Okay. Yeah, I stopped sharing my screen because I think my computer was dying
Oh my god. Is your
from.
M1 Max Studio dying?
It's
Oh wait,
not.
you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on an M3 Pro, and it's not.
M3 Pro, that is
I know
trash.
M3 is trash in general for sure. I watched this video or this movie, this documentary yesterday morning, I think. Um,
Oh, right. So it was, is it? Oh, so you went to the theater and watched it?
Nope, it's out now
Okay, good.
on streaming or not on streaming. You can buy it. I bought it.
Well, I'm not gonna
I'm
buy it.
lame. I know.
Maybe I'll see if there's other ways of attaining it. But is it worth
Eh,
watching?
no, maybe not.
Okay.
It's good if you are not just totally like subsumed by this every day, which I feel I definitely am, and I think you definitely are too. But it does a good job of like talking about things, but it basically like talks to the doomers and then it talks to the optimists and then it
Yeah.
tries to figure out why why you might have both opinions.
Yeah.
And it basically like it ends talking to the CEOs. It talks to Sam Altman and Dario Amadei. Um, and it's basically like, yeah, things can go really bad unless we change. And it's not,
Like very generalized, like the world could end if we don't change. Like, yeah, that
yeah,
for sure. If the world ends, it's gonna be because we humans do something. So
right.
anyways,
It was an okay watch, but it's not like you're not going to learn like
it's an hour and
anything.
45 minutes. I think I'll see if I can find it and watch
Yeah.
it. Although I like the most popular trash. Oh no, is that thrash?
Thrash.
Sorry, thrash. All right.
I did also watch this finally. I know you mentioned it to me.
Oh yeah, we watched that last night too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my
Nice.
son's in town and he hadn't
Ah,
seen it.
nice. I watched it on my flight to London.
Did you like it?
Dude, I have no idea what the hell was happening in this in this movie. Especially the ending. I don't understand, but I freaking like it was a journey that I
Yeah.
enjoyed being on for sure.
Yeah, I think the end just I think the end was meant to highlight that essentially he's in AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his entertainment. Like like what he was saying was I'm pretty sure
Oh,
yeah, like I at
the
least
way
that's
he
the
gets
vibe I
enjoyment.
get is that that's what's going on with the when the rat opens his eye. It's just like yeah, it's just if you want to if any of the story is true, then he is literally in one of the
The
pods or
headsets.
whatever.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, okay. I enjoyed it. I think this is a definite CE movie. I like it was so fun the whole way through.
Oh yeah, it's and it was very relevant to the
Yeah,
ridiculous times that we're in.
for sure. So yes, definitely good. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Um, I also watched 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
You know what my kid calls it? He calls it 28 years later the boner temple because we made the mistake of watching that with
Yeah.
children. The first one. Wait,
No, I
did you
get
see
it.
the first one?
Samson, right? Samson's.
Yes, yes. And as soon as that was out there,
Yeah.
oh yeah, my kid had a field day
Just a
with that.
very good looking zombie.
Oh no, sorry, he calls it 28 inches the boner temple. Anyways, I have not watched that one yet. Although I heard so that okay, this is totally not AI related anyway, but
No.
we're off the rails. But we watched the first one. It was okay. You know, it was entertaining enough.
Yeah.
But then there's the ending scene of the freaking kids, or the young people in younger people in like the Adidas tracksuits and stuff at the end
Hmm.
of the first one,
The
right?
Jimmies.
The Jimmys, and he's probably part of the second plays a role in the second movie. I don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Do you know the controversy around that person?
The actor?
No, the person being portrayed.
No.
This Jimmy. Okay, so this is what's weird, and it's very controversial for people in the UK and Scotland. I don't know the full story. All I know is that when we were in so when we did a tour of Scotland, my wife and I, there was a point where we were like it was it wasn't in the middle of nowhere. It kind of felt like it was way off in the middle, like it was off by some pretty large, you know, not mountains, but mountains for Scotland, you know, large mountainous area. And
Hmm.
there was a house there kind of by itself that was completely vandalized and messed up. And the bus driver, you know, who was a very Scottish man, said, "Oh, uh, you know, yeah, you see the vandalized house. You know, you probably know whose that is. Yada yada yada." And it's that Jimmy. It's that person that is being portrayed in that movie.
Oh, really?
Was a, I'm going to get this totally wrong, but he was a very well known and well liked individual who was. I don't know exactly what he did. Maybe it had something to do with music, television, radio, something, but he did lots of lots of fundraisers at for kids at hospitals and stuff.
Hmm.
But it ends up that he was diddling the kids.
Oh, God. We're
Yes,
so far off topic now.
yes, we're way off topic. But then, so then he was like total, like obviously outcast and like a horrible person.
Yeah.
And then they have him in this movie. So it's very weird for UK Scottish people, and it just seems
Hmm.
weird if you know. Like I don't understand why they had why had him in the movie. There's articles out there that I'm sure I can go read to understand why they had him in the movie, but I don't know. Yeah, so a lot of Americans don't understand that was very controversial.
Yeah. I would say skip those movies. They're not even that great.
Yeah,
But
I love the 28 days and the
mhm.
28 weeks.
They retconned 28 weeks for 28 years.
I did they I don't see
Yeah.
I don't those are the things I don't pay that much attention to. My
I
wife
think in
would
28 weeks, like it escaped, like the Britain, like the
yeah,
island.
yeah.
But in 28
28 years
years,
it
it's all
didn't.
quarantined
Yeah,
to
it's still
Britain.
maybe it just went to some of the smaller islands.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anyways, so one of the other things you have on here is Claude Code Desktop. Is
Boom.
that what we're
Yeah.
going to talk about?
Yeah. So good transition from 20 years later to this. But they updated the desktop, and
Okay.
specifically like
Yep.
it looks totally different. You know, you can still do like the chat and
Yeah,
the
I have been using
co-work.
the new desktop, but I've only been in chat cowork. I've never even opened code, I don't think.
Okay. The other two might have changed. I haven't looked at them too
They
much, but
have. They're yeah, they've changed enough.
okay. Code has changed a lot, and it's pretty good. Specifically, like first it shows you some of your stats, which is kind of
Yep.
cool. Um, oh, I've used 1,100 more tokens than Animal Farm. Interesting.
What's
Um,
Animal Farm?
I assume a book. I haven't read it.
Oh, okay.
But it shows you, it has this GitHub style usage thing.
Yep.
That's fun. It doesn't go back very far. It
Does
doesn't go
that
back
or
far enough.
if you mouse over those, does that tell you like token usage or anything? Oh, it's just day. Oh yeah. Oh right. Does it?
Nope.
It did something when you moused over it, and it
It
looked like
did.
it had
Now
a
it's not.
date. There it is. So
Yeah.
is that five? What is five? Five tokens?
5 messages. Yeah, probably messages.
Okay.
343
Yeah, that makes more
messages.
sense.
645. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah. But when you're working on things, it's pretty cool because what project am I in? I'll go to uh, I'll go to our remix project. No, I'll go to Insect Start. And then you can just like ask it, I don't know, summarize this repo. And you know, it'll do a good job. But once you like start a message with it, first off, it knows, like it gives you all this information about it. It'll tell you exactly how much code. I've been working in this project and I'm almost ready to create a PR for it. But one really cool thing is it has a preview.
Hmm.
And I've never run it, even though I deleted the project or the thing. But let me stop that and say setup. It'll prompt a thing to tell it to make a launch.json in the project. And it's
Okay,
going to
so it's
figure out,
like VS Code under the covers.
yeah, like this is the IDE of the future if you go
Mm.
this way. But the cool thing is like this will be a web browser
Yep.
that shows you the app running.
Yep.
Now it is a little broken, especially for like us at Work OS. See, it's got the example, can run it there. Once it creates it, unless it gets stuck because auto mode didn't allow it to do something. Okay. Yeah. So let's run the example. Submit. And now it should pop up over here. But I just think that like having it all more integrated in here, this is really reminding me of like CMux,
Yep.
which
I
is
mean,
pretty cool.
it reminds me of Tidewave.
Oh yeah.
I
Nice.
mean, that's the thing about Tidewave is that
Yeah.
you're and I only the I maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I only ever really use Tidewave if I'm doing something
Mm-hmm.
visual. But it does have tools that make it probably, I mean, useful certainly for Phoenix-based applications, and they do a ton of other um, front-end frameworks, but or other, you know, ecosystems
Oh,
where they
cool.
have built-in skills to help, like how you're working with it.
Yeah. Look at this. I haven't played with this enough, but I can do things like, oh, let me
Okay,
select
so
the sign
yep,
in button
yeah,
and
this
now
is
I can talk.
exactly yes, that's
Uh,
exactly what Tideway does.
that's
So
cool.
yeah, they're not. I was wondering if somebody would try and buy Tidewave, so they're not going to try and buy them. They're just going
You
to
can just
implement it.
vibe it.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's their thing now.
yeah,
What company can we just become? And they just become them in a
right.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is a little broken. If I hit sign in, boom, it only allows local host. So like you can't actually like use,
I saw you tweeting back and forth with somebody about that. Where
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that makes sense for the way they're approaching this
Hmm.
because this is all sandboxed.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
But I like it. Like I'm not leaving Vim anytime soon, sorry, Ghosty. I've kind of
Yeah,
left Vim. I'm not leaving Ghosty anytime soon, and Tmux because I still feel like I'm just more productive in there. But this is cool, and
yeah,
like because this is all here running, it's like auto setup for remote control and
right.
all
Yep.
that.
I think the use case here for you is probably similar to me, where if you're doing something extremely visual, where it's like
Yeah.
you really are like, I need to tell you these elements. I want this element to be below these elements. That's where it makes such. You just like click, click, put these below, click,
Mm-hmm.
and done. And it knows it has all the context it needs. You're not taking a screenshot and trying to drag it over there and all that stuff.
It's
So
really
yeah.
cool. Yeah. They also announced this new routines thing.
So I have not looked at this. I heard the announcement and I didn't pay that much attention to it, but I assume this is just like more open claw stuff where it's like I want you to go do this stuff on whenever.
Yes. But specifically, you can do it not on my machine. Do it in the cloud somewhere.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Because like they have scheduled tasks or whatever. You have to
So
have
yeah, the
your
scheduled
computer has to
task.
be
Yeah.
on
Right.
and awake, and the app has to be open. With this, none of that has to happen.
So
And
this is more like the Nvidia's
yeah,
shit they were doing with OpenClaw, which was like, we'll run it in our environment.
yes.
Yep.
But it can be triggered not on a schedule, but it can be a schedule, but it can also
With
be
other
like on,
things. Yep.
yeah, an API event, a GitHub event, or through like different connectors, apparently.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I wish the Gmail connector would like allow it to archive emails and stuff.
Oh, it can't. I've never tried it.
I don't think you can do anything that's like writing.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I want it. I don't know. There's other tools out there, but yeah, my email management is horrific, and I just get too much trash.
You know what you got to do?
What's that?
I've adopted this since, I don't know, 15 years now. I've had Gmail for 30 years, 25 years,
Yeah,
20 years.
I've had it for
2005 is when I got it, and I was a senior in high school. But you can do this amazing thing where you select all and archive.
oh yeah, yeah.
And if you need
For
it
sure.
later, go
Yeah, you
search
just
for
search.
it.
Yeah. Problem is there are literally things in there that I probably should have paid attention to, and I didn't. I got to see how
It's
long.
probably not a problem now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually
If
had
it
to do
is,
that.
they'll just email me again.
I just got an email today to like renew my car's license plates.
Yep.
And then it made me realize that I got one 2 months ago that I
It-
totally archived. So I I did them both today.
Nice. I'm trying to see how I can tell how old my account is. Where do you go to see how old your account is, Nick? Oh well, it's not important. Oh nope, that's my birthday. Anyways, I know I got on good Gmail when they were like somebody had to invite you.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was like way back in the beginning.
Yep. Well, you can change your username now. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
You don't have to be whatever you are. I'm not going to
I
dox you.
like I like mine. I
Okay.
like mine. It's my name that I use everywhere. So
Yeah, same. But like the funny thing is they announced that on April 1st.
so people
And
thought it was fake.
I totally did. Like how, especially like how is that going to screw up like your logins at places, And
Right.
the secret is like you have an alias to your original
Yeah.
one. So it's still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's no way that what there is going away.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anything else that we need to chat about?
I think those were the main things that have happened. Some programming notes for me, I guess. I was just in London and then I'm home. I'm in San Francisco next week and then home and then San Francisco and then home and then San Francisco. So through the end of May, I am just,
Yep.
but I'll be home next Friday. So we could plan on next Friday.
Okay, sounds good. And then it'll be a week off, and then like every other week kind of.
We can
thing.
do the next 2 weeks and then the other one I'll be in San Francisco.
Okay.
So I guess it only affects us 1 week. out of that. Um, but yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure there will be stuff to talk about because stuff changes
I think everybody's
daily.
taking a break. We're going to slow down.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, Dave. Well, it's good chatting with you.
Yeah, likewise.